November the 8th, 2024. Guys, you're looking at the 4 p.m. update on Hurricane Raphael. This is from Sky Tower down in Tampa. They're showing basically the same loop that many of the other models are showing. We still have a Cat 2, 100 miles per hour, moving west at 9 miles an hour. Then this was 4 p.m., so right now it would be 6:50 p.m. on the East Coast. Anyway, what we're dealing with is Cat 2 moving in here, and then the loop is right in there. So you can say Saturday, 1 a.m., that's after midnight, still an 85 mile per hour storm. Sunday at 1 a.m. in the morning, 60 mile per hour storm. At that point, we're below a Cat 1, and it's showing it making this loop and going down towards the Bay of Campeche and slowing down into a tropical low. Now, one thing that concerns me, we're going to look at it closely, is this west at 9 miles per hour. Let's look very closely at that and kind of put it into where the models are showing. First, we're going to look at the spaghetti models. Not much has changed at all here. This came out at 6:30, so it is just a few minutes old. Navy model now is a little lower, again, skating across the Mississippi River here, coming into Florida and diving straight down through the entire peninsula. Now, if it stays up here, it may maintain some strength. We don't know yet. We're going to have to watch it. This is kind of the mystery hurricane. The CMC model has it making a fast loop. All of them that are going to the south make a really quick loop, like the front is coming in that we're watching. You got a lot of snow a couple of days ago and still snowing up into the above the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma. All of that moving out of the Arizona, New Mexico area. And so what the models that are going to the south, again, are indicating a turn to the north. Notice that everything is a turn to the north and then a rapid turn to the south, except these three models. And this rapid turn, they're anticipating this front, again, coming down through here to be moving much faster. In other words, by the time it turns north, the front's on top of it, forces it back down. These three models are turning faster to the north. This is key. Notice how much further out to the west they get. But these three get caught up in the turn to the west, or to the north, and then turn to the east. In other words, this one is expecting it to come in even quicker. Before it has time to come in here and push these down, it catches, according to these three models, and this is the Navy, it doesn't have time to go back south. It's caught up into this front, up higher into that movement of the front, and moves over and into Florida. That's what we're going to have to watch for. Now, let's take a look at the overall system. Now, let's look at a wide view right now of the U.S. You've got the storm right here. This is Raphael. Here's a system that's about a 20% chance of development. It's running into some very dry air now, and that's why it's only got that chance to go. Plus, if it gets into this low-pressure river, as I've been calling it for the last few days, it will be pulled up and out into the Atlantic. But right now, again, one of the problems I've got is with that due west track without adding anything to the north. Here's the front. You've been getting snow around the four corners. Everything is slowly moving now this way. Up north, I hope you guys in the northwest and into western Canada need a little moisture, maybe coming your way. Guys down in South California, that wildfire is pretty rough from all the things I have seen. A lot of houses burned, a lot of evacuation orders. If you have friends or family down near that fire in Southern California, you need to call them, contact them, make sure they're aware of the situation, and make sure they heed to all evacuation warnings, because with the Santa Ana wind, it moves so fast you really don't have time to do much. Let's zoom in on the Gulf. Now, they've been saying pretty much a west track all day, but I've been watching a northwest track, and what that means and the difference is, here's our front starting to move in, right, is that if this thing turns north quicker than expected, it may not be in this area when all of this gets on top of it, if that makes any sense. In other words, this is going to come through here pressing down, but if it gets caught up In this system that you see, everything blowing this way, right? Just like that. If it rises north quick enough, it will be caught that way and pulled into Florida. I'm not saying it will. I'm looking at the different possibilities. But what I am seeing is a northern track. Now, I'm going to overlay the longitude and latitude lines, and let's take a closer look at this. And now with that overlay and zooming it in, you can see what I'm concerned about. Storm starts out here this morning down in the southeast quadrant of this particular section. But now see where it's at? Up into the northwest quadrant. So it has not been, if it was moving west, it would be moving along one of these lines right there. But it's not, it's moving to the north. Here's the problem, and that's what the Navy's watching, and I have to agree with them. If I was betting over 50-50, I'd have to go 60% with the Navy right now, simply because of this northern movement, not a direct west movement. If it was moving west, the storm would get on top of it and push it down much quicker. But if it's turning north, it's going to get caught in that upper scoop and move towards you guys in Florida, possibly scraping Louisiana and all the coastal states. I just want to bring this in. I know it's a little bit late, guys, but this is what I'm seeing right now is this northern turn as the front comes in. Let's look at one of the models. Now, quickly, before we go to those models, before I forget, I want to go to the National Weather Center, not the Hurricane Center. What we're seeing, this kind of adds into the map. You've got tropical storm warnings. You've got hurricane warnings off the coast right now. All of this is gale watches. And what's amazing to me, and I don't remember ever seeing this, and of course I'm getting old, but we got winter storm warnings, watches, freeze warnings here. You got tornado warnings in between that and this warm system, or tornado watches, excuse me, here in Texas. And it's all color-coded, guys. And you just go to weather.gov, G-O-V. But I just don't remember seeing these freeze and blizzard warnings when we have a hurricane off the coast. Everything is out of tilt, just slightly. But this tornado watch area, this is for the Dallas and Fort Worth area. So stay tuned for that. But I think we may see a turn in here in this front, catch it. We got to watch that Navy model, and kind of scrapes the coast and goes down through Florida. Now, this is the latest model from the U.S. Navy. Show the storm. It's turning north, getting caught up into that upper level system that's blowing everything to the east across Florida right now before the pressure system comes on top of it and pushes it south. You see that? If that makes sense. I hope it does. Now, again, we talked about this earlier. Once this storm passes out of here and this high pressure system sets in, it more than likely would direct the storms for the next few days out into the Atlantic. But guys, because it's the U.S. Navy model, I'm emphasizing do not take your eyes off the storm. Something else I see here is this is a Cat 2. This pressure does not indicate a Cat 2. It never gets that strong even from its current location until it comes ashore. Never seen that before. Are they manipulating this thing and trying to hide the destruction? Or is it just the weather so crazy that we're seeing some very weird things? But we are not seeing at the point where this starts a Cat 2 pressure. Look at that. Just not there. It would be much deeper blue in that area. And it just came down from a Cat 3. But they've been doing that all along, kind of downplaying the system. Now let's take a look at the Canadian model. What it does is showing it lingering inside this little loop it's doing until the pressure builds over the top, which forces it down and probably some moisture over Mexico, west of the Yucatan and back into the Pacific. Still not showing the intensity of the storm. I know it's supposed to really drop down, but if it gets tied up, which going along with the Navy model, it may not decrease in speed that much. It may, we're just going to have to see. This one's really hard to call. All I can tell you is don't take your eyes off of it for 1 minute. Stay up to date with weather.gov and the National Hurricane Center. But guys, we're watching the storm. It's, again, do not take your eyes off of it. It's a heads up. Be safe.